Loser. Yeah. Really? You're not a loser? Okay, I'll never call you a loser again. Why are you what? Yeah, your face is on your camera. What? Why'd you say it like that? No, I'm not feeling anything. I can hear myself in the stream. So now I feel disgusted. So now I feel disgusted. I can
Hey guys, I've got some stand-up shows coming up in Oklahoma City on July 24th and 25th, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On August 28th, I will be at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee for my biggest stand-up show yet. I'm very excited. It's gonna be me and some friends all doing stand-up comedy live on stage. We announced it a few days ago and tickets are going pretty fast, so if you want to get your tickets, head on over to DannyGonzalez.live or click the link in the description, and I will see you all there. All of you. Hello everybody, welcome back to the second channel. Go ahead and crack open a can of sparkling water. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday today. I am recording this on a Thursday. I guess I don't know if I'm gonna post it on a Thursday, but I really hope that you're watching this on a Thursday, regardless of when I post it. I really hope you're having a Thursday right now. Nothing brings people together like sports, right? Piling onto the couch on a Sunday afternoon, getting your hot wings and your chips ready, and tuning into German television to watch the professional water pouring finals. That's something we all do, right? Yeah, so for this video, I found a bunch of professional sports that I didn't know existed, like water pouring, and I want to show them to you. This video says, why are you so tired? Me at 3 a.m. watching the water pouring finals on ESPN The Ocho. Oh, I guess I just assumed this was a German show, but the caption actually just says, I'm assuming this is a German show. I guess we'll have to get into the video to see why they're assuming that. Maybe it's the shape of this glass. It looks like it should have a nice Oktoberfest beer in there.
No way he thinks it's full. Oh no!
At first I thought this was like the ESPN announcer that we're hearing, but there's no way this is like the professional broadcast announcer, right? Who's just going like, oh, no way, bro, no way!
Oh no!
You just hear him being like, no way, no way. Oh, hold up. Hold up, my Uber Eats just got here. One sec. Tony, can you get the door, bro? Yeah, I'm doing professional sports broadcasting right now. Can you get the door? Okay, real talk though, that guy was really off. I mean, if you're gonna be that bad at water pouring, you have no business being in the professional Olympics of water pouring.
No way. Stop.
This guy seems like he has actually trained for this. That other guy walked in here woefully unprepared. You need to listen for the splashes coming off the water. Yeah, that's like the whole point, right? You have to listen to it. I don't think anybody thought he was just using telepathy to know when the cup was full.
The moment might be too big. He's sweating. The lights might be too bright.
The moment might be too big. He's competing in the world's smallest sport. He's like, I'm doing this on live TV. Singles of people are watching this. He also said the lights are too bright.
The lights might be too bright.
He's wearing a blindfold. This next sport, the footage looks like it's from the 80s, but this sport looks so fun that I am surprised it has not caught on yet. Let's take a look. Summer skiing, the sport that never was. Well, it was, because they're doing it here. It was at some time. I mean, it just seems blatantly disrespectful to tell these guys who are clearly doing it that it never was. They came home that day, they tell their girlfriends, yo, we were just out summer skiing. They're like, oh, that's crazy. No, you weren't. That sport never was. Look at this. This is a crazy mechanism. It's like the wheels of a tank. What are those called? Or like a bulldozer? I mean, that's not how I would have expected this thing to be constructed. This feels like there are so many potential failure points where this could go horribly wrong. Is it just me, or do the guys doing it even look terrified? Because I was watching this and I was like, okay, this actually looks really scary. Like the way he jumps off of this ledge, he flailed in midair. Like he was immediately like, I should not have done that. This was his first time ever jumping in one of these things. From the looks of it, there's about one trick you can do on your summer skis, and it's kind of flailing through the air. How do you even get your body like that? Nothing says I'm in complete control like having all of your limbs behind you. It's crazy. The way he looks in midair also looks like how he will look when he hits the ground. There looked like another point where the guy almost definitely fell once he got out of frame. Yeah, right there. There's no way he landed that. They just look like they're holding on for dear life the whole time. I feel like the music is tricking us into thinking this looks fun. If you took out the music, it'd just be like, oh, Jesus. Okay, here's another video of land skiing blading in the 1980s.
Freestyle too much for you? How about carving up a little grass?
I need to turn on the captions. I can't understand his 80s accent.
Freestyle too much for you? How about carving up a little grass?
Freestyle what? Swimming? Dancing? Rapping? Having a hard time staying on beat when you're freestyle rapping? How about careening down a hill out of control at 80 miles per hour instead?
Join Brian McKay, Edgar Vosaldis, and Scott McKay. And
oh, wow. Okay, here's all their names. I want to look them up, but I'm worried that they died during this video. Wait, that's an extended version of the shot we watched earlier where he regretted it immediately. Okay, so that lends some credibility to my theory that they wipe out after every trick. There's also still has not been any footage of someone slowing down or coming to a stop safely. I'm just realizing these things don't have brakes. And on a normal ski, if you want to brake, you make pizza slice. You want to go fast, you make french fries, go slow, pizza slice. I don't think you can do that with these. I think because they're on tracks. If you tried to cross your skis like this, they would just keep going together. And then your legs would just snap off and start going down the hill different ways. They cannot get one shot where somebody doesn't get hurt. I like that all of the videos of this seem to be from the same day, too. Were they just trying this for a day? And then they realized how bad of an idea it was?
Well, the club was founded in 1979. In November of 1979, we set up the lift, and San Diego Grass Ski Club was formed.
Now it feels even more disrespectful that post said the sport that never was. There's a club that opened in 1979. It was open for at least 5 years.
Anybody in the public is welcome, and
see what she's doing right here? I can't believe there's not one person that ever has done this ever. And this guy too, the captain of the league, I can't believe he's just a figment of my imagination.
we charge $45 for 6 months.
Okay, she seems to be the only person who's figured it out, actually. She's doing a great job. Those guys need to get some coaching from her. She makes this look easy, graceful. Maybe it's because she's not doing this on the world's bumpiest rocky hill.
Grass skiing started in Europe in the 60s.
It started in Europe in the 60s. This was a thing. See, this is what the history books don't want you to know. They're censoring our past.
And there's been 3 world championships now, one in Austria, one in Virginia, and also in Australia.
That's crazy. There was world championships in Australia. Is this an international thing? Or was it just these 3 people going to different places to compete with each other?
Beginners love the sport. There's just one thing.
Dude, look at that lady in the background. She's going crazy. She's doing her own thing. She wasn't even going downhill. How is she doing that? She's figured it out. She's on her own wave, dude.
There's just one thing they've got to get used to.
The speed. You get going really fast, and then you're not sure how to stop.
Yeah, she was having flashbacks there.
The speed.
The speed. You go so fast. You start to feel like you'll never stop. Okay, wait, here's a modern day video of people doing this. Finally, I see actual talent in a video. Dude, you should have seen that one lady. She was zooming in circles on a flat surface. It doesn't even physically make sense what she was doing. You deserve way more support, and what you are doing is unique and cool. Thank you for entertaining me and inspiring me to comment. Thank you for inspiring me to comment? What a weird thing to say. Like he loves commenting, but he can't because he's never been inspired to before. Oh, damn. All right, I was about to say, look at 50 years of progress, and we've actually figured out how to do this gracefully, but no. No, it's pretty much impossible to land a trick on these things. Okay, you guys, people love football, right? And what is people's favorite part of football? It's watching people get tackled. So what if there was a sport that was just people running into each other really fast? And they both died. I don't understand like how as an athlete you could have longevity in this career. I feel like you could do this twice max and then you can't even run anymore. You can't even see straight. I've heard a lot of people say things like golf isn't a sport because it's just a game. I would argue this isn't a sport because there is no game. Like there's not rules. As far as I can tell, I don't even know what the objective is. It's like, the objective just don't die? Because that's just the objective of life. Okay, the caption of this one is, let's fucking go. I bet he is gonna fucking go. Wait, why is there a ball? Why did that guy have a ball? There wasn't a ball in the other video, was there? You're just allowed to bring stuff from home? Why is the caption, let's fucking go? Half the video is just a medical team rushing to somebody's aid. Yeah, let's fucking go to the hospital. It does kind of seem like he's like plotting here. He's trying to get in the right headspace. He's strategizing as if there's any strategy to be had. All right, so this time I'm gonna run away from him? No, that won't work. I gotta run towards him. I'm gonna run towards him, but I'm not gonna hit him. No, that doesn't work either. Yeah, my options are pretty limited.
Nation fam, we've officially locked in the venue for RNC 2.
Dude, who would go to watch this in person? I feel like my ribs hurt just watching it online. That might say more about like me as a person than it does about the sport actually. Okay, that one was a little bit too intense. How about we get into a silly one? This is professional tag. I like that there is a crowd, but they're barely saying anything. Like the beginning of the video is just silence, and then eventually people start shouting, but it's like, there's only one thing you can shout really in this game. It's just go, go. And it doesn't matter who you're cheering for. They both need to go. This does actually look really fun. Like this looks like the type of thing I would like to be really good at. If I was good at this, I bet it would be sick. Tag child prodigy returns to UK championship. Isn't every child a prodigy at tag? All the people I know who are the best at tag are children. I've honestly never even met an adult who wanted to play tag.
18 years old, and watch how this boy moves.
He got him! Got his ass. I think he did get his ass, actually. So there's a whole website about World Chase Tag. The oldest game, the newest sport. That tagline goes pretty hard, actually.
And keeps that speed up, under the ridge, up onto the mountain, and over the top.
How your parents said that they used to get to school? Do people like that joke?
And just flings himself through the tilted cube. It looks so easy. It looks so quick.
It looks so easy. It actually did not. I'm fully confident I couldn't do anything close to that. My journey in this sport would end about right here. See how he's up there? My tummy would be about right here. I'd get the wind knocked out of me, and then he would tag me about 900 times. I like this sport, but I feel like the playgrounds could be even cooler. And I don't know if it's disrespectful to call them playgrounds, but that's what they are. I feel like there could be tubes and tunnels and slides. Like a moat with crocodiles in it. Like a sniper with a real gun. Just to make this a little more interesting. Right now, it's just a bunch of bars. When I started working on this video, I did not realize how many obscure sports there are. But this is just boxing, but they're taped together. And they're also chained to the table. I'm not gonna show too much of this because I feel like it'll get me demonetized, but the ref had to step in here to break it up. He's like, hold on. Foul. It's like, what was the foul? What could the foul possibly be? This whole thing is foul. They're taped together and punching each other. They don't, like, I don't even understand how there's room for fouling. Bizarre Japanese sport where men fight to get to the top of pole. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This is so many men. And what pole are they gonna try to get to the top of? This many men won't even fit on a pole. I've seen some big poles before, but this is too many men for one pole. Oh, is it a team sport? They each team has their own pole and they just have to get somebody to the top of it? Do they just have to see how many people get to the top of the pole? Wait, now people are coming over from the other team to try to take them down from the pole. This is a bizarre sport. Also, what is this guy? We're just not going to acknowledge the robot ref over here? Does anybody else see him? This seems like one of those sports that it doesn't have like a clear time limit. They're like, just go. We'll kind of get an idea for when it's over. We just want to watch it for as long as you guys are willing to do it. Wait, what happened? I skipped forward a little bit. What happened? The scene has drastically changed. I skipped forward 10 seconds maybe? From this chaos to just like, yay, we all did it. They all have their hands up in the air. We won. Were you guys all on the same team? What happened? Okay, they blew a whistle and then they all get up. What's going on here? Like these two are not even involved in the they're doing their own battle here. They're settling a personal score down here. There are dangerous sports like football and wingsuit flying, and there are wacky sports like wife carrying and pumpkin chucking. All things that I knew exist. Then there are the hybrids of the two, the sports that are both dangerous and wacky. You may be familiar with things like Cooper's Hill cheese rolling and the Japanese log riding festival, but have you heard of Bo Taoshi, the sport of team pole toppling? Yes, I have, actually. Thank you for asking. Each of the two teams are massive, comprised of 75 people on the offensive squad and 75 people on the defensive squad. Defensive players wear white while the offense wears their team colors. So the defensive team is tasked with keeping their pole, which run 10 to 16 feet high, standing upright. As you might be able to guess, the offensive team has the job of taking down their opponent's pole. Both teams attack and defend at the same time, so it's a race to take the other team's pole down before they topple yours. Okay, so I guess in that video, what we didn't see is that the orange team also had a pole that was being taken down by the white team. This picture is pure chaos. Doesn't seem like they're wearing enough padding. They have the thinnest head pad on, and they're on so loose apparently that many of them have fallen off, actually. This guy's has just sort of fallen, so it's covering his eyes. So now it's actually doing way more harm than good. It's like, it's not protecting me and I can't see. This guy doesn't particularly enjoy what he's doing to this other guy, and it looks like the feeling is mutual. Again, this seems like another one of those sports where there is no strategy. How could there be? Like, when you're here, what's the strategy? How are you gonna prevent your pole from getting knocked down when you're here? The scrum can be a beautiful place. Oh, brutal place. The scrum can be a brutal place. And I've always said that. That didn't sound like a gun going off to start. It sounded like they snapped somebody's bones to be like, go! I have to say, if I was doing this sport, I think I would like this job best. He just gets to chill up there. What happened to this guy? He's not even wearing a shirt anymore. How is this happening to people? He's got his shirt off too. See, that's why there's no strategy in this game, because there's no rules. You can take people's clothes off, take off their clothes, you know, rip out their hair, gouge their eyes out, man. As long as you get on top of that pole, that's what matters. All right, well, I hope you guys found at least one sport that you're gonna try from this video, and I hope that it is Run Nation. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. What's up, Greg? I hope you're having a great 2022. I know I am. Now that the New Year's finally here, I know a lot of us have resolutions trying to stay healthy, both physically and mentally. A big one for me personally is I want to stop making fun of videos on the internet, just for my own mental health. I want to, you know, any sort of goofing around or being silly or making jokes online, I'm definitely gonna want to stop this year. So if you see me doing any of that, making fun of any sort of online content, please let me know. That would definitely ruin my year to break my resolution so early. So, you know, hold me accountable and do not let me do that. Okay, thank you. Anyway, today I'm gonna talk about this guy that eats balls.
Fresh, raw testicle.
That's right, baby. We're talking about the Liver King. If you don't know who the Liver King is, he's gained a lot of popularity in the past few months. He's got 1.4 million followers on TikTok, and he's come to prominence, I think, for the most part due to his unorthodox lifestyle. His eating habits, his workout routine, his disdain for technology, even though he is famous on a phone app. But basically, this guy just sort of like documents his life and what he eats and stuff as he tries to live as our ancestors did. That's his big thing. He's the CEO of the ancestral lifestyle. Meat. In case you're wondering what the ancestral lifestyle is, it's meat, okay? Our ancestors ate meat. And balls. They ate testicles.
Fresh, raw testicle.
As you can see, he is absolutely jacked, shredded, ripped, chiseled, etc. And so a lot of people follow him for like health advice and workout tips and how to build muscle and stuff. And I thought it'd be great to watch this guy's videos since we're all trying to be healthy in the new year to get some health tips. So let's go ahead and watch what he eats on a Wednesday afternoon.
Liver King here. It's Wednesday afternoon and we are breaking our 24-hour fast. This is how we break our fast on a Wednesday rest day after we did a successful simulated hunt.
Did he just say that it's his rest day and that he just completed a successful simulated hunt? How is that a rest day? I guess I don't really know what a simulated hunt is, but he sounds out of breath at the start of the video like he literally just came from a simulated hunt.
Liver King here.
And it does not sound like, from how out of breath he is, that he has been having a relaxing rest day. Nothing more relaxing than just taking it easy every now and again, you know, with a good old rest day. Just kicking back, relaxing, and sprinting through the forest for 7 hours with a spear. Looking for a fake goose? I don't know what a simulated hunt is. He has kids. I wonder if he's like making his kids dress up in a like a deer costume and he's chasing them through the woods.
We're gonna start with a protein shake, about 30 grams of protein. We got some full fat yogurt in here with some amazing concoction. Ask me about the recipe.
Super vague. This is some amazing concoction. It's like he doesn't even know what it is. And this is some sort of amazing concoction. I don't know what it is. Just sort of appears at the foot of my bed every morning. It tastes disgusting, but it's the only thing keeping me alive.
Ask me about the recipe. You're gonna absolutely love this. We got 10 ounces of bone-in, skin-on sardines. We have 3 ounces of fresh, raw testicle.
Thank God the testicle is fresh and raw, you know? Otherwise, that would be gross. If it was cooked testicle, that would be insane, dude. People would think you were crazy for wanting to cook a testicle before you eat it. Are you nuts? Are you? Are you nuts or are these nuts? So yeah, this guy is like super popular on social media right now. He has like a huge following. People are like super into his diet and his lifestyle. And from the looks of his videos, he has like a huge ass house. So it kind of seems like he was rich before he started blowing up on TikTok. So I was kind of curious like how he amassed his fortune. So I've been doing a little research because I haven't seen anybody talking about it. Luckily, he has his real name in his TikTok. His name on TikTok is Brian Johnson, aka Liver King, which is kind of funny, like as if anybody would know him as just Brian Johnson. Hey, do you follow Liver King on TikTok? His health advice is like really helpful. Liver King, let me think. Now, I don't know, man, you're gonna have to be more specific. There's like thousands of Liver Kings that I know of, so. You know of 1,000 different Liver Kings? Yeah, there's gotta be like at least I don't know, 1 million Liver Kings on TikTok, did you say? No, I'm just talking about this guy, the only guy on TikTok named Liver King. Brian Johnson, aka Liver King. Oh, Brian Johnson! Yeah, dude, of course. You should have told me the more unique name first. Brian Johnson. Anyway, I found out that our boy Brian has a LinkedIn, which I was a little bit taken aback to find, if I'm being honest. Like, this guy does not look like he should have a LinkedIn account. Like, just the thought of this guy, like, applying for a job seems like way too beta for this guy. Like, this guy just would, if he needed a job, he would just, like, walk in and start working somewhere. But anyway, he's got a LinkedIn, and it's all about how he owns a supplement company. He is one of the owners of Ancestral Supplements. I will preface this, I am not a health expert. I do not know how to be healthy outside of like eat vegetables. Okay, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, and maybe I'm a colossal dumbass. It's very possible. But like, weren't our ancestors like super unhealthy? Does the bubonic plague not ring a bell? The image I get of the past is just that like everyone was sick all the time. So naming it Ancestral Supplements is not super appealing to me personally. I mean, I guess I get what he's going for. It's like we want to go back to like before things were so heavily processed and stuff like that. That all makes sense. But when I think of our ancestors I think like, take these supplements to be just like our ancestors. You'll be sick, you'll be dirty, and you'll die the second you're born, just like our ancestors. On their website, they have a bit of a story as to how we started the company. I'll read you a small passage and I think you'll get the gist. When my boys were tiny, around 2004-ish, they did not thrive. They were allergic to everything. Every doctor we took them to just gave us the same prescriptions for allergy medicines, Benadryl, and an EpiPen. All of those things do sound kind of useful to me, but I guess that's why I am not a liver prince. Also, they did not thrive is like the funniest way to say that like his kids had like serious health conditions. It almost makes it sound like it's their fault. They did not thrive. They were squandering their opportunity at life. They were just not up to the task. After reading Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston Price, we took matters into our own hands, starting with organic, pasture-raised, and wild-caught nose-to-tail foods. Definitely would not recommend taking it into your own hands. I guess he just doesn't really describe what the issue is very well. He's just like, all the doctors prescribe the same things. Allergy medicines for their allergies, Benadryl, EpiPen for their allergies. Why are they all prescribing the same thing? It's almost like there's a medical consensus of like the thing that helps with allergies. I'm not really sure what taking things into your own hands by starting with pasture-raised foods is supposed to do. He's like, Dad, I ate a nut, help. Not a testicle, an actual nut, and I'm choking on it. I need help. And Liver King's like, don't worry, son, I got you. What you need is some organic beef jerky. Here you go, buddy. Tell your old man thanks. Again, his kids might be perfectly healthy. I really don't know. If you're a doctor, please comment on this video. Actually, it seems like they're doing good now. They're in the top 95th percentile for academics. When they test their mile and physical fitness, they're in the 99th percentile. Okay, good for them. I guess, you know, have them run a mile, they'll go crazy. You know, hand him a nut, on the other hand, I don't know. My name is Brian Johnson, aka The Liver King. I am one of the owners of Ancestral Supplements. My wife, the biological dentist, is currently introduced. What is a biological dentist? Isn't that every dentist? She fixes teeth for like organisms, basically. She'll fix people's teeth, bugs' teeth, plants' teeth. The biological dentist. What could that mean? And my ex-wife, the cyborg dentist. Okay, my wife, the biological dentist, is currently introducing me to people as the Bear, even though I keep telling her that it's the Liver King. Holy shit, that's so funny. He already has a nickname. He made up a name for himself, the Liver King. And his wife is just like, no, you're the Bear. I'm gonna introduce it to everyone as the Bear. I already told my wife that it's the Liver King. That's like my whole brand. I go by the Liver King. She keeps introducing me to people as the Freak, the Monster, the Testicle Nibbler. All right, but I don't want you to get the wrong idea. He is really into his diet, and that's super important to him, but that's not the only part of living the ancestral lifestyle. This guy's big thing is living by these like 9 ancestral tenets that he follows, and a big part of that is how he sleeps. So this TikTok shows what kind of bed he sleeps on.
Liver King here. This is how Liver King and Liver Queen sleep. You'll see that we have our little wool pads on top of these little wooden boxes that we made. It's just some plywood so that we can elevate the beds, especially in a high humidity environment so we don't get any mold underneath. And we have these thin wool pads that are just, I don't know, an inch or two. Just a little bit of stuff down here to give enough cushion.
Why do I get the idea that like this wasn't his original plan? I feel like his original ancestral plan was just to sleep on the floor, and then he was like, God damn, this is uncomfortable. So he's like, well, maybe it would still be kind of considered ancestral living if I like built a little wooden thing. Because they probably had wood back then, so I'll just sleep on wood. So then he built this like wooden pallet thing, and he tried sleeping on that, and he was still like, this sucks, I can't do it. And so then he added this like thin wool pad. Before you know it, he's gonna have a bed. He's gonna be like, and then on top of the wool pad, I just put like a memory foam mattress. Just went to Mattress Firm, just like they used to do back in the ancestral days. And I put that right on top of the wool pad. And that's basically how the Liver Queen and I sleep.
Liver Queen will never allow a cell phone in here. But if she catches Liver King listening to a book, we have this little Faraday bag, and that's where the phone goes. Even though the phone is always going to be in airplane mode, this is just an insurance policy.
So that's another important thing to him and his wife. He talks about it a lot, is that they don't want any like radiation or EMFs is what they say in their house. Electromagnetic fields, any sort of radio signal. They want none of that in their house. So anytime there is like a phone in their house, it's got to be in one of these bags.
You'll see that we also have Ethernet cables here. That's why phones or Wi-Fi is not allowed in the room. That's why that phone in your hand shouldn't be in here either, but this is for the greater good.
Yeah, my wife doesn't even let me listen to a book in bed without putting my phone in a Ziploc bag made out of chainmail. But I'll make an exception just this once so that you guys can know how uncomfortable I am when I sleep and how my wife is afraid of phones. The people have to know, you know? They have to know that I need help. He is kind of throwing his wife under the bus in this scene, though. I'm starting to make me wonder if he likes any of this stuff or it's like all his wife's idea.
The walls are grounded, the floors are grounded, the ceiling is all grounded with grounding paint. And so this is really just a pristine sleep environment so that we can recover, rebuild, and restore to our optimal ability.
Yep, we've really shielded the environment. We've made it the most serene, relaxing place you could possibly toss and turn all night on a wooden plank. I'm kind of curious how far back of like ancestors he's talking about. Like when was the ideal period for human health, I'm wondering.
Just a little bit of stuff down here to give enough cushion to kind of mimic what our early ancestors would have done with some local plants.
He says that like the wool on his bed is just to mimic what our ancestors would have done with like plants. So he's saying like our ancestors far back enough that they like just slept on like on the ground with like some like pine needles or grass. You know, guys, our early ancestors, they were really healthy. They were covered in fur, they ate bananas, our early ancestors. That's how I'm trying to live. I'm gonna build a tree in my house. I'm gonna swim into a volcano in the ocean to live like our earliest ancestors. Kinda wanna just live like a single-celled organism, if that's cool. Oh shoot, this is a workout TikTok. This guy's about to go super barbarian mode. I've seen a lot of people say this guy's on steroids. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how possible it is to get a physique like this purely naturally. But what I do know is that regardless, Liver King puts in work to get the muscle he has. Let's take a look at one of his workouts. He looks so sad. Maybe it's just the weight of everything that's kind of making him hunch over like that, but he just looks so dejected. Is this part of the workout? He just breaks down crying. All right, guys, now I'm on the ground. And I'm still working out. I'm gonna do 10 sets of weeping. Why am I doing this? Oh! I just want to eat one candy. I just want one candy, please. This pause is so long and uncomfortable. Oh my god. Okay, yep, no, I no longer think that this might be healthy. That was the saddest sound I ever heard. Jesus, dude. Brian, buddy, you don't have to live like this, man. And now I'm just gonna lift this shit back up. Yep, this is what you gotta do to be healthy, guys. This is the only way to live happy and healthy. You know, most people, if they wanted to sell you supplements, they would just like put an ad on Facebook or like take out a billboard or something. This guy's like, I'm gonna strap 1,000 pounds to my balls and walk up and down the driveway for 3 hours just to show you how happy and healthy I am. I'm gonna do that for you. The saddest part about this whole video is the end, because after that insane workout, you know where he's ended up? At his gym. Like, this was all just like a warm-up for his workout. I don't know if that's actually true or not. That might have been his whole workout. I just thought it was funny. I thought at the end he was gonna be like, okay, I'm done now. But he's just like arriving at the gym. Imagine showing up to Planet Fitness like this. Just screaming and crying, covered in weights. But I gotta hand it to him. This is just how our ancestors used to show up to the gym. The jungle gym.
Liver King here with Liver Queen and Liver Boys. This is what we're having for our family dinner today.
Oh, damn. He doesn't call his kids the liver princes? Shit. I wonder what the reason behind that is. Are the boys not thriving enough to inherit the throne to the Liver Kingdom? Liver King, Liver Queen. These are our little liver peasants.
We have liver, of course, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have bone marrow, Liver King concoction. We have some vegetables. That is a joke. And we have protein shake.
Wait.
What Liver King family have for dinner today.
Oh, damn. Okay. It started to pan over to one of the boys, and the first plate you see is an empty plate. I was like, holy shit, is he not letting his kids eat? My boys, of course, are eating nothing tonight. They are not fit to eat like a king, so they will be simulating a failed hunt. So the main course here is just as a pound of raw beef. That makes me want to throw up.
This morning, I was putting in the work, and I met another primal who was also putting in the work. And in honor of you, Mike, from Canada, for honoring the struggle of our early ancestors, and by helping to spread this message, this is for you. This set.
Whoa, Mike getting a shout out, dude. Shout out, Mike. Mike is probably losing his primal mind right now. Oh my god, he noticed me! I will say he does appear to be getting a little bit too into this set dedicated to Mike. He's like humping the ground. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do push-ups like that. That's wild. He goes from doing push-ups to doing that like grind on me Vine trend that shirtless boys used to do.
This is for you, Mike. This is for you, buddy.
I don't really know what to make of this whole primal lifestyle thing. I mean, he does seem happy. Like in all of his videos, he's smiling. So maybe there's something to this. I don't know. He definitely seems happy. I guess, you know, it could just be because he spent like the past 20 years living his life completely unchecked by anybody. He's just been like eating whatever he wants, and apparently no one around him has told him like, hey, don't you think it's kind of weird that you walk around without a shirt on all the time? Also, he's like rich, so maybe that helps too. I'm kind of curious to see what his day-to-day life is like, so let's check out this video, Inside Liver King's home, exclusive house tour.
Liver King here. Welcome to my cave. First thing I want to show you is this sign. It says cell phone reception goes here, and by here, that really means this Faraday cage. And that Faraday cage is gonna make sure to block all the EMFs from the phone so we can maintain this healthy, pristine environment that we created. This is my office. This is where stuff gets done. This is my standing off.
Wait, he's got a gun? That just changed my whole perspective of this dude. It makes sense, but no sense at the same time. This dude has a gun? That goes up against everything I thought I knew about him. The ancestral lifestyle, and you go hunting with that? Did they have that, Brian? Did they have that back then? How does this dude have every phone in his house like locked in a garbage can so that they don't like throw off the vibe? But his gun is just like, he just kind of like threw it on the table. That can go there. That never hurt anybody.
In the evenings, this is where I come to relax. I sit down on this pew.
That says so much about him. Sometimes when I want to relax and I don't want to lay on my hard wooden bed, I'll come out and sit on this cold wooden bench. I'll just sort of sit here in the dark and think about my life.
And I just have all the lights off, and people walk by and they don't even see me here. Yeah.
What? That's not a good sign, dude. I think they see you. I think they're avoiding you. Yeah, I'm kind of invisible here for some reason. It's kind of weird. People just walk by me and they sort of like, it almost looks like they're avoiding eye contact with me. Their pace really picks up too when they get around this part in the hallway.
Okay, we're standing on our outside patio. We have our cold plunge. I hope that you can take a look at the cold plunge because there's pine needles in here, there are leaves in here, there's stuff in here that you'd probably say you should probably clean your cold plunge. But this is all earth. This is all stuff that's gonna help your skin biome. This is just getting the earth on you.
Yeah, you can see some pine needles in there, dirt, bugs, broken glass, shit, a dead squirrel. It's all good for you though. Human remains there. This is an active crime scene actually, so. And I'll just sort of hop in there and swim around with my mouth wide open and just take in all that good stuff into my body. It's good. For you. Also, does he say it's good for your skin biome?
This is all stuff that's gonna help your skin biome.
I did not know I had a skin biome. That's interesting. Does that mean there's things living on my skin? And this, of course, is good for all of the ants and spiders and small little maggots that live on my skin. And he's got jet skis too. This dude is like the most peaceful, serene guy, except for when it comes to like shooting guns and riding jet skis, I guess. I wonder if he does all the fun stuff when his kids and wife go to bed. He's like, all right, kids, I'll see you tomorrow for another day of simulated hunting and foraging in the woods for berries. Then he like hops on his jet ski and just like rips around the lake shooting his gun. Yeah! Goes to a strip club. His wife's like, honey, where were you last night? He was like, oh, I was on the pew. You didn't see me? I was on my little bench. All right, guys, well, I hope that gave you some good insight and some tips on staying healthy this year. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will be back very soon with another video. I'm going to be trying to post even more frequently this year, so make sure you're subscribed. Also, I've been posting on my second channel a little bit more lately, so if you want even more content, head on over there. There's some fun, like, off-the-cuff .live or click the link in the... What's up, Greg? I've got a stand-up show coming up in Milwaukee at Pabst Theater on August 28th. If you want to get tickets, go to DannyGonzalez.live or click the link in the description. I recommend getting those quick before they sell out. Also, if you want to know when I'm coming to your city, sign up for my mailing list. You can scan this QR code or click the link in the description. You can also request your city, and that helps me decide where I should go next. And you'll even get early access to show tickets. So the people who are on the mailing list already knew about this Milwaukee show. Not to rub it in, but they've probably already got their tickets by now. So come on down to the Milwaukee show and I'll see you there. And if not, then sign up for the mailing list. And if not, then watch this video right now. What's up, Greg? One of my many guilty pleasures are tours of insane mansions on YouTube. You know those videos where they tour like $50 million mansions that all look like somebody tried to build a shopping mall in Minecraft? The guy giving the tour is some eccentric Willy Wonka type dude that somehow knows even less about the house than you do.
I don't even know if this is the original one or not. This is, I guess, a Pilates machine.
Sure.
And then you have that. I have one of those too. I don't know how it works, but I do have it.
A bench? You don't know how a bench works? But what I find so much more interesting are weird houses. There's communities all over the internet like this subreddit Zillow Gone Wild where people post houses where the owner has made the most objectively strange choices possible. A church converted into a home, a warehouse converted into a warehome, and a McMansion with mouth urinals. On one hand, I appreciate these homeowners like striving to do something different and not just hopping on the millennial gray train and making their houses look like heaven in Bruce Almighty. But when it finally comes time to sell your house, isn't it gonna be hard to find anybody else on the planet that wants to buy your $9 million castle in Texas? Especially when there's this perfectly good one in Indiana for a tenth of that. I never catch these swaggy home tour dudes going to houses like this, so I thought it would be fun to do a video where I do some house tours, but I go to wacky ones. To start, how would you and all your boys like to live in a 3,000 square foot house? 4 beds? 3 baths? Okay, well, there is one teeny tiny little catch. It is an abandoned grain elevator. And it is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not completely abandoned from the pictures. It has been renovated on the inside. It looks like you don't need to be a kernel of corn to enjoy this place. Look at that. What used to be a grain elevator is now just a regular house with regular house stuff like a living room, a kitchen, and that guy. So apparently for the past couple years, while the owner hasn't been living in this house and he's been trying to sell it, he's also had it on Airbnb. And it's weird because on Zillow, all of the pictures look super bright and airy. They make the space look very inviting. And then on Airbnb, all the pictures look like this. Why are they all at that angle? It makes the whole place look sinister as hell. Normal laundry room? Evil laundry room. I am really appreciating the creativity I'm seeing here. I'm more so just curious of why someone would choose to turn a grain elevator into a house. But I'm even more curious about what a grain elevator is. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grain Elevator House. This house has a lot of lore, a lot of interesting things about it. I'm very excited to take you inside to take a look. From the outside, this thing is an imposing structure. This area of Minnesota is very flat, and this building is extremely tall. You can see this thing from like 4 miles away. This was a functioning grain elevator before it was abandoned and then went into disrepair for years and then was transformed into a beautiful home. Over here is a big garage door where trucks used to come in and dump grain. So that's where the trucks would come on in. But hey, you're a person. Why don't you come this way? The first thing you see here is like a very normal kitchen. I mean, you can hardly even tell that this is in a regular house when you're in this portion. Over here they have a framed newspaper article about the guy who owns this place. So this is Scott. He gave us a tour of this house this morning and sort of gave us the lowdown and all the lore of this place. But basically he bought this grain elevator when it was like completely abandoned, in disrepair. He had 2 little boys at the time and wanted some place to live in. We asked him why he chose this place and he said because he got divorced. And that pretty much answered every question we had about this whole place. Over here is the main living area, and you can tell right away the scale of this place. Like, this area that we're in now is really big, it's tall, there's a balcony level up there, and this is like a very small portion of the actual grain elevator structure, which is crazy. So before this guy started fixing this place up, he said it was pretty much like totally in disrepair. There were like dead animals everywhere. It was like knee-high grain everywhere you could step. This is a slide from just like a regular park. You can see where kids have like scratched things into the slide. Like it says Steve Hart's somebody, and then he scratched that out, and then it looks like he later came back and wrote Cindy instead. So I don't know what happened to Steve and his first love, but I hope that him and Cindy are still going strong from whenever this was written, which I can only assume was in the late 1920s. The winters here in Sabin, Minnesota are pretty brutal, and so one thing that the owner, Scott, said he does to keep himself busy is puzzles. So there's puzzles all along the wall here. Again, this bench. He said he got from an auction for like $5 from a restaurant. And then you've got some of Scott's literature, some of the stuff he likes reading, I guess sort of his inspiration for building some of this stuff. There is a climbing wall elsewhere in this house, and it's kind of interesting because there's a book here called Building Your Own Climbing Wall. Oh, he's got a feng shui guide, which no doubt helped him sort of formulate the space in here. Okay, this is a weird book. Building a straw bale house. I don't know why you would want to do that, but maybe this is his next project. Once he's done with this place, he's gonna get to work on his straw bale house. There's this giant mural on the wall. So this is the first area that he said he worked on, because right when he bought this place, he wanted to have a place where he could live with his 2 boys. And so this like small area became their apartment. There's like a living room here, TV. There's a climbing wall going up the wall, which is pretty crazy. This is actually like so much harder than I thought it would be. Okay, out this door, we have the deck. Now, it's not a very big deck. This abandoned railroad track right here used to be where a train would pull up to deliver grain. It's not in use anymore, but the railroad company does still own it, and so they won't let him build over it. And so he built this much deck and then had to stop, and then I guess was like, yeah, I guess this is just the deck now. It's worth it to have this much deck. Okay, here we have a very interesting staircase. I was pretty confused the first time I saw this, but apparently it's designed to only like fit 1 footstep per stair. If you start on your left foot, dude, you're screwed. You're not gonna get very far. Watch. And then you're just stuck there forever. Now you might be thinking like if you lived here, like, oh, I'd get used to those stairs eventually, but I don't know. These are kind of like, these are wild stairs, dude. I'm still like a little bit out of breath from climbing that climbing wall. Now, in case you're like me and had no idea what a grain elevator really looked like inside before this, let me show you this helpful diagram of how a grain elevator works. Grain is delivered and dumped into a pile right here. It is then brought to the top by what is essentially a conveyor belt covered with buckets. At the top, the grain is sorted by type and put into the appropriate grain bin. I think in this particular grain elevator, there's like 40 individual bins. And to give you an idea of scale, this whole living area is 1 grain bin. You may have noticed the walls in here kind of look like a log cabin. That's because big piles of grain create so much pressure on the walls of the bins that they're built by stacking 8-inch thick planks of wood on top of each other. You can see here in this doorway how thick the walls are. It's insane. But if they weren't built like this, the place would explode. If you think about how big this building is, this is an insane amount of wood. So this area is just like a cool little clubhouse, I guess, up here. Although the way it's outfitted right now does make it look a little bit depressing. There's just like one sad pad. This is one sad pad, dude. So I came up this way. You might think I have to go back down that way, but the labyrinth continues. I'm going that way. I'm going this way. This is just like a pretty regular bathroom, although I do think it's worth pointing out this painting of the Cat in the Hat. Don't know why that's there. This house has a crazy amount of beds, too. There's a bed here, a bed there, and then down here, there's 2 little, like, under beds. They're just little caverns. See? And now we've looped our way all the way back around to the main area, but now we're up on the balcony level. Here's the slide, and then over here there's just like a cool hangout area, a TV, a bar. The cool thing about the underside of this bar is that this part was like an original piece of the grain elevator. This is like a map of all of the grain bins. It's just so interesting, like all of the details of this place. Like everything has like a little story, or there's something interesting about every piece in here. Anyway, I'm gonna go down that slide. Okay, here I go. Oh, Jesus, okay. That's the sound slides are supposed to make. Oh, also over here, there's windows, and this like area is not finished, and there's just like pigeons that live in there. If you look in there, there's just pigeons in there, dude. I think they like to be like right up in that window because they like to watch people go down the slide. And I'm not about to disappoint them. Woo! What did you guys think? Hey, where'd they go? That is pretty much like the whole finished area of the house that is accessible to the regular like Airbnb guest. But we've got a bit of exclusive access. So we can show you some of the behind the scenes areas that, you know, if you wanted to buy this house, you would get the pleasure of fixing up. You've probably thought to yourself throughout this tour, like, wow, this place is so homey and livable. The wood walls make it feel like a log cabin. What do the unfinished areas look like? Surely not that creepy, right? Now, they're pretty fucking creepy. There's some scary parts about this, for sure. The fact that this door locks from this side, so if you get locked in that hallway, you're just in there forever. Well, I guess there is like a light at the end there. There is a door there, but the downside is that to walk there, you gotta walk down this creepy-ass hallway that is for sure booby-trapped. You would be riddled with arrows by the time you got over there. All right. Dude, let's get out of here. I'm scared. Whoa, hey, that's how the video ends and I never post on YouTube again. This area is like just storage. There's not too much interesting that he told us about the house in here. But while we were in here, he did tell us that he got in a plane crash once, just in like a 6-seater Cessna plane, and like got a bunch of money because of it. So that's pretty cool. He didn't really elaborate much on it, but it sounded scary as hell. And this is a cool area where you can go on the roof. Check it out, I'm on the roof. So according to the owner, this used to all be one structure, like there used to be stuff in the middle right here, but at one point this whole thing started to sink into the ground because it was just too heavy, and so they had to like cut out a middle portion of it, and so that's why it's two distinct structures now. And he did say that although they prevented it from sinking any further, it is still leaning a ton, which you can tell if you look at a lot of the drone shots of this place. Now, being on this roof, like you feel pretty high up, but then you look up and realize like you're nowhere near the top of this grain elevator. This thing is massive, and like only a very small portion of it has been finished or like is livable at all. So you could see that as like, you know, so much wasted space or just so much potential. This area is sort of Scott's workshop, and this is from the smell of it where all the pigeons live. One of the reasons Scott is selling this is because he intended on turning this area into a cannabis dispensary, but his neighbors kind of shot his idea down. So the people who are considering buying this place are actually going to keep it an Airbnb, but then turn this unfinished area into an end-of-life care facility. So it's gonna be half Airbnb, half end-of-life care facility, which is an interesting business plan. Okay, let's go up these stairs. Okay, so in this room is something pretty cool. You can actually see all the way up to the very top of the grain bin. I mean, look at how huge that is. Imagine how much wood is in this building. Like if you just like chopped it all down. And then I believe I hear like 1,000 pigeons mating up there. Now, one cool thing about this house is that since it is an Airbnb, the owner offered to let us stay here at night, which means we get to see this place all lit up at night. And it is pretty cool with all the lights on, honestly. I am a little bit worried that like when I turn off the lights and it's dark and totally quiet in here, I'm just gonna notice how much I can hear the pigeons that live in this place. That's gonna be kind of disconcerting. The owner was telling us that sometimes he gets like negative reviews on Airbnb because of the pigeons, and he claps back at him. He'll be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know why I built this place. You don't know, I don't want the pigeons here. I don't really know if that's like that good of a clapback. He's like, you think I like pigeons? I fucking hate pigeons. I wish they would leave. Rate me 5 stars. Well, anyway, there's like a million beds in this place, so I think I gotta pick which bed I'm gonna sleep in. There's a lot of unique options in this house, but something about this tiny little hole that leads to this like underneath cubby is really speaking to me. I feel like I'm very protected in there. There's a pretty low chance of a pigeon ending up in there. Yeah, I'm actually surrounded on 2 walls by the very sturdy 8-inch thick wood walls. So I don't think I'm gonna be hearing any pigeons through those. Yeah, I don't know, once you get over the claustrophobia of it all, it is just a cozy little nook, a little nook and cranny. It's more, I don't know, is this space more of a nook or a cranny? Guys, comment down below. Who laying in a cranny right now? As I tucked myself in grain bin number 16, I couldn't help but think growing up here would feel like being in a Disney Channel show. This place is so whimsical. Like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but instead of a hotel, it's a grain elevator, and instead of Mr. Mosby, it's a pigeon. Well, guys, I did it. I slept one whole night in the grain elevator house. Honestly, I slept like a baby, and not even in the screaming, crying kind of way. It's weird how, to me, sleeping in a tiny little wooden cave of sorts seems cozy and pleasant. But when I sent a picture to Laura of where I was sleeping, she was like, that is my worst nightmare. So, different strokes for different folks, I guess, you know? Whatever elevates your grain. This place has a lot of quirks, you know, from the cavernous, unfinished areas to the pigeons. But I also got to admire the amount of creativity and, like, reuse of materials that went into this place. And you know what? This place is not really for a 30-year-old guy to judge. This was built by a divorced dad who wanted his sons to think he was cool. And I have to imagine they do. The UFO house. 8 beds, 8 baths, $1.5 million in Hurricane, Texas, which is right next to Zion National Park. This place is fully alien themed, as you can see. There's even a slide. This video is weirdly slide themed so far. The listing boasts a cryogenics bunk room, a flight deck, and even a full-scale flying saucer. Full scale according to who? Excuse me, what UFO did you measure to get that stat? It better be as big as the one from Independence Day, or I'm gonna fucking sue them. Look at this place though, like who would do this? Who would take a perfectly normal home and turn it into some kind of Airbnb? It's an Airbnb. It's because it's an Airbnb. I don't know if it was always an Airbnb. Like, I don't know if this was built to be an Airbnb or if it just is now. One confusing thing about this listing is that as you're going through it, it's like, ooh, look at all the cool UFO and alien themed stuff. And then all of a sudden it's a log cabin. It's just a picture of a log cabin that was taken on like the first iPhone ever. Is this what the outside looks like? But then you keep going and the inside is a log cabin too. What happened to the UFO place? They're like, no, it's always been a log cabin. I don't know what aliens you're talking about. You sound crazy. Obviously, the presence of Airbnbs in a town can drastically change the housing market, diminishing the housing supplies, making prices go up like crazy. And I can only imagine that insanely themed Airbnbs exacerbate this problem. Unless anyone watching this wants to buy this UFO home for their family, in which case, hell yeah. You're insane, dude. That's awesome. If you guys saw my last video, you saw me make some very poor attempts at the Utah fad dirty sodas. Most of them were disgusting, some of them curdled. I liked none of them. But because this house is in Dirty Soda's home state of Utah, I decided to come on down to Swig and have a professionally made one myself. And it's right here. This one is called the Texas Tab, and it is the exact one that I tried to make at home. It's Dr. Pepper, coconut cream, and vanilla. It does just kind of look like a creamy Dr. Pepper. Fuck, that's really good. That's crazy good. Wait, that's way better than the one I made at home. This is great news because I'm in Utah for 3 days. I'm gonna have 3 of these a day. Ah, yes, thar she blows. Area 51, home of a alien. So it turns out that this place is actually not just one building. There's this building, which is Area 51. It's the hangar where the UFO is. But there's actually 2 more buildings. That's why the listing had like a log cabin type place. So that is this building, which is labeled the Roswell Cabin. And then there's another building all the way in the back over here called the Atomic Love Shack. Now, it's pretty clear, like, what the theme of the Area 51 hangar is, and, like, I sorta get the Roswell cabin. Like, I guess it's like a cabin where a UFO sighting would happen. The Atomic Love Shack seems the least involved. In all of this lore. All right, come on into the Atomic Love Shack. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, this place just looks like a regular studio apartment. It is not themed at all, so I think we can move on to the next building. The least they could have done is like detonated a nuclear bomb in here, you know? Just to help with the theme. Okay, now we're really starting to enter the themed areas. This is the Roswell cabin. There's a little more UFO theming here. There's a giant picture of a house getting abducted by a UFO. And then if you look out that window, you might really be scared. You might think to yourself, oh my God! Oh my God, what the fuck? I know when I walked in here for the first time, I said far worse than that, let me tell you what. For some reason in every bedroom, there's like a little diagram on the wall that appears to have giant arrows pointing to all of the exits in this room. And there's just arrows being like, okay, you can get out this way, this way, this way, this way. Maybe this is like where aliens can enter while you're asleep. It's like, just so you know, aliens can get in here, 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 here. And they're gonna touch you here, 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 here. You flip it over, that's the other diagram. They're gonna touch my butt and abduct my house. What the fuck? Lots of little bear statues around here. I don't know if you saw the one in the front, but I really like this one because it kind of looks like he's going, ah! He just saw somebody get abducted by aliens. This area of Utah is really nice. It's pretty. This is Hurricane, Utah. Last night we stayed in St. George. We got Swig yesterday, as you guys saw. Today we got to see the sights a little bit more. We did hit up Swig 2 more times, which was awesome. As you come up to the door, there's some warning signs that there's something not quite right afoot here. You got your liquid methane, experimental mutantogen. Guys, these are all radioactive. Don't look at where it says pear puree concentrate. That's a joke. That's a joke that they play at Area 51. There is garbage in there.
Oh, gross.
Oh, gross garbage.
What the fuck?
Oh, man,
What is this stuff?
thought that was gonna be tasty liquid methane. On the door here is a sign that says Area 51, warning, restricted area, use of deadly force authorized. And the first time I opened this door, I actually did get shot in the face. And this is where the fun really happens. We've got a gigantic UFO in here. Also, just look at like this space. This is like a legit hangar. So this is honestly like a really well-built, very detailed UFO thing. And when you come in here, well, kind of just a gamer room. You got there's an Xbox here, there's 2 TVs. We continue our space and an aeronautical theme here with just some airplane seats. It's a UFO, but they just got regular airline seats. And then if you open this door, you can actually sleep inside the UFO. So we got bunk beds over here. There's Nerf guns here, so you got like you and all your friends can shoot each other. This is a pretty regular bedroom. Oh, there is a sign in here with the entrances and exits as well. Don't know what this is for. Like you're in bed and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, I gotta get out of here! Okay! So the theming is a little bit less strong in some of the regular bedrooms. I'm not really sure why they like stretched an image of a pilot over the headboard like that. We got 2 little aliens trapped in tubes right here. The owner didn't really say too much about these guys. He pretty much just said that this is filled with a gas that kind of tortures them. They don't really look like they're doing much, but they're in a severe amount of pain right now. Over here you got kind of a entertaining hanging out space, large sectional. You got a big beanbag, which I haven't sat in yet. Let's see if it's comfy. It is! Yeah, this is nice. And this is the perfect spot, too, if you're watching a movie. That way you don't see any of the movie. This is what the American Gothic painting would look like if it was all messed up and fucked up and there were aliens in it instead of like a guy and a girl, and if there was a UFO in the background and the farm was on fire. Because I've always wondered like what that would look like. These are more cool bunk beds. I feel like that's kind of a theme of this video, is cool bunk beds. I'm glad that all the Airbnb houses just have like little bunks, little tiny little claustrophobic places for me to sleep. And then this is like what it would look like if American Gothic was all fucked up. There's this like climbing area where you can climb up these crates and then go up into the tunnels. There's a tunnel system above this whole place. Dude, if I was a kid, if I came here on a trip, like if my family booked this as an Airbnb, this would be so cool. These tunnels, even as an adult, this is cool. The one thing I will say is that down there is a slide. I went down that earlier, and the first time I went down head first, and that is not a good idea. Oh! Do not go down the slide head first. I felt like one of those 2D images of like a cave diver. And out back, oh baby, you got a grill, you got chairs, and you got a pool. All right, guys, you already know what time it is. It's time to show you where I'm gonna be sleeping tonight. I had a few interesting options, such as the cryo chamber bunk beds, just a tube up there. I could have just slept in a tube. But you already know, I can't stay here without sleeping in the UFO. The cool part about the UFO is I have this door that is sealed shut, so no one can get in and I can't get out no matter what. There's like a plug to plug your phone charger in right here, and then it just kind of dangles over your face all night, so that's really nice. But once I figure out a solution for that, I think this is gonna be really quite a cozy place to sleep. All things considered, it was a pretty good night. I slept well in the bunk bed, and this is a pretty fun house, you know? It is not built for a family. As I woke up this morning and stepped my bare feet on the concrete floors, I did realize that this is not a home. This is a converted hangar that is meant to look like the inside of Area 51. This is not a place to lay your head every night. So I think that this is just gonna be an Airbnb for the rest of time. I am a little disappointed that we didn't even see any aliens though. And now it's time for the underground house, what Zillow is calling one of America's most extraordinary residences. Not to be confused with this underground house, which is, not. Okay, this is 5 beds, 6 baths, 16,000 square feet for $5.9 million in Vegas. And it is an underground bunker. I was really excited that this place is letting me come visit them because I made a video about this place on my second channel. At the time, I thought that this retro look was an interesting choice, not realizing that this is not a choice. This place was just built in the 1970s. They were like, let's build the place and make it look like it's now. The original owner of this place, Jerry Henderson, was a billionaire and an executive at Avon. Yes, the pyramid scheme. Jerry may have been on top of a pyramid scheme, but when it come to living in a house, he liked for it to be underground. He and his wife Mary fully lived in this underground bunker that sits 26 feet underground. It has a heated pool, fake trees, a cryo tank that can hold 4 bodies and 5 heads. This is actually kind of an interesting time for me to be going to this bunker though, because they are actually selling this place and the closing date is the day after I'm there. So who knows, after I film here, this place may disappear from the public eye forever. And so might I. They might trap me in there, I don't know. Also, is there a big crack in the ceiling? Uh-oh. And here we are at the mysterious 16,000 square foot bunker. It's right under our feet right now. On the outside, you'd probably never know there was something more than a normal house here, were it not for the gigantic gates, security cameras, and a bunch of air conditioning units that lead to nowhere. Also that weird-ass tree that's made of plaster. Were it not for all those things, this would look like a regular house. Originally, when this bunker was built in the 1970s, there was no house here. There were just 2 tunnels like this little one, and then an even bigger one where the main entrance is. These Flintstones-ass tunnels are what led down to the bunker. I guess the guy who built this, Jerry Henderson, actually did not want to live above ground at all. He just built the bunker and was like, no, I'm good. I don't need any natural light. The tunnels for me, please. All right, let's go inside. Just kidding, that's not the main entrance. This is the main entrance. It used to look like a tunnel, and now it looks like a house. Let's go. And here we are in the $5 million bunker underground. And what an amazing sight it is. The first thing you see when you come down the stairs is what looks like just a house. You go into a house, and then you go downstairs, and then you're in the basement, and there's another house right here. You turn the corner, and it looks like you're outside. Dude, the first time I came down here, I was like, am I really outside? I thought I went downstairs. What happened? Am I some kind of idiot? The entire perimeter of this underground home is decorated with murals of the outdoors, designed to make living away from the sun and the sky as bearable as possible. While the murals are nowhere close to photorealistic, they are impressively detailed. The artist who painted these actually lived down here for 2 years while she was working on them, and had her own little house in the back corner of the bunker. Each mural depicts a view from one of Jerry and his wife Mary's other estates, from Beverly Hills to Colorado and New Zealand. Obviously, it doesn't feel like you're outside when you're in here, but it definitely is a step above like a dark concrete bunker. So props to the mural artist for that. So when it's nuclear Armageddon, Jerry can wake up and look out the window and pretend he's still in his Beverly Hills home. He can pretend for just one brief little minute that Beverly Hills still exists, and it's not now Beverly Fire, Beverly Crater, Beverly Alien. Does it look like I'm really in LA right now? Mm-hmm. What if you just saw a nuclear missile just... Oh no, I wish I was in my bunker right now. It doesn't just stay daytime in here though, which is kind of cool. All of the lights in this place have different settings, so you can change it to be like sunset and nighttime. You've got the moon up there, you've got stars on the ceiling, and all of the little windows and streets are lit up with fluorescent paint that I can only assume is radioactive to the touch. Whoa, am I glowing?
Your teeth are glowing.
Wow. It's like I belong here. It's kind of a creepy vibe. That's the thing about this bunker, is like when some of the lights are on and some of them are not, you turn the corner from this like majestic moonlit Beverly Hills scene, and then you're just in a liminal space over here. But over here is a very special corner. This is the Christmas corner. Mary, I guess, was like very enthusiastic about Christmas, and so she had this little nook built specifically for a Christmas tree. There's like a hole in the ground right here that a Christmas